Oris has just updated a bestseller, the Aquis. Now I have the latest 41.5mm version to share today. This one has the Sellita-based 733 movement within and the popular, beautiful upcycle dial. Now, personal opinion, I think that truly great watch designs, they don't need to be largely revamped or completely overhauled every so often, like we see with other brands and models. I think that great watch designs are timeless, right? You get the watch design right the first time. You don't have to overhaul it or, every decade or so. So I think that real improvement will come from subtle changes over time, small tweaks to certain elements, very similar to how modern icons like the Speedmaster or Submariner or Reverso have only slowly evolved over the decades. And although the Aquis is a relatively new design, I think the same thing could be said of it. Since the inception of the Pro Diver back in 2009, Oris has only subtly improved upon this instantly recognizable case, integrated bracelet, and other details found throughout, like the angled applied markers and angular crown protection system. Now, the Aquis is a unique contemporary design, but it's not just different. It's not just functional. It's comfortable, it's versatile, and it does carry a lot of value for the cost. Now, what is different about this latest generation of the Aquis? Well, really, there are quite a few small but significant changes, and some may not even be noticeable until I point them out, but we'll go over that throughout the course of the video. And again, I think that a naturally good design update should just be small, subtle improvements. Now, the largest change is a slimmer, more refined case shape. Oris has thinned out the mid case. They've increased the angle on this conical ceramic bezel insert, and they've trimmed the lugs down. So they transition to the larger taper of the reworked bracelet to just a more natural degree. I think the watch has a flatter, more comfortable fit, and yes, I have noticed a difference for the better on this 41.5mm iteration. Going to the bracelet, this is also subtly different. The links are wider, and that allows for a more narrow, polished outer link, and I don't have a prior generation bracelet to do a side-by-side with, so I'll drop in some footage of some prior generation Aquis models so you can see how they differ. This bracelet, this new one, it feels slightly thinner. It's still silky smooth. It still has the full link articulation and the screw pin connectors, but it does feel a little bit more refined and less toolish. The larger aesthetic difference will be on the subtle angle that's found on the brushed center link. In my prior Oris Aquis purchases, the link form was smooth and rounded, and this one again carries that crease, it carries that line, and the line isn't sharp, it's not overly eye-catching, but I do think that it ties in better with the angled lugs, the modified alpha style hands, and then these diamond cut applied markers. The clasp is also slightly different in shape. There is now a thin polished bevel line on both clasp edges, and this will match the thinner polished outer links on the bracelet. So there's a more unified look found on the reverse of the watch. Now, there are also 3 different micro adjustment holes in the clasp with a dive extension system, but sadly no micro adjustment that you can use without the aid of a tool. And that is really the only element of the Aquis that needs to be upgraded. Oris is late to the game when it comes to a quick adjustment system in the bracelet, and I think that's a shame. However, if you opt for the Aquis with the in-house caliber 400 and you buy it on the rubber strap, those straps will come with a deployant clasp that has the patented quick adjustment system. Again, that's only found on the caliber 400 models and eventually will be separately orderable on the website for the 733 variations. Now, there are also some subtle changes found on the dial. Oris has refined the brand font. It looks very similar to the old font, but gone are the small flares, the small embellishes found on the ends of the letters. This one is smoother. This font feels a little bit more modern, but still it looks very similar to the old fonts, and I like that. The applied indices have also been sharpened. Again, very similar in look to the last generation, but just enhanced to match the other angles and linear elements of the Aquis design. Now, Oris is introducing this latest generation in multiple sizes, multiple movement options, multiple strap options, and this is the 41.5 millimeter size with the 7.33 caliber within. There will also be a 43.5 millimeter size that you can choose between a 7.33 movement or an in-house caliber 400 movement width, and the colors Oris is starting with are blue, green, black, and then this gorgeous upcycle dial. I had yet to see an upcycle in person until Oris sent this press example in, and I quickly saw what all the draw was about. This dial is made from recycled polyethylene terephthalate plastic, or PET plastic, and that really makes sense for this independent Swiss brand because Oris is the single most environmentally conscious watch brand that I know of. They have worked for decades with various nonprofit environmental groups, and they engage in preservation or conservation projects around the world. They use sustainable deer leather, among other products or production processes that underline the idea that eliminating negative environmental impact is not just lip service for the company. So I love seeing this upcycled dial. I think that it fits Oris to a T. And because the dial is so irregular, no two upcycled dials will be exactly the same, and that is something that I do enjoy. Other aspects of the Aquis will remain the same. This has a ceramic bezel insert, loud, snappy bezel action, just a touch amount of backplay. This has excellent SLN BGW9 lume. The lume will glow a cyan tone and is very well applied. The date wheel is color matched to the dial, and this will be a feature that will be the same regardless of the dial color you choose. The date wheel will always match the dial color, and as a watch fan, that's something that I welcome. Now, the watch retains the angular crown guards, the tri-spoke screws within the crown guards, and then the tri-spoke screws within the lug bars. The 733 is a Solida 200 base with a red rotor, and it will be visible behind a sapphire crystal. The dome sapphire crystal on top of the dial will have inner applied anti-reflective treatment, and it does seem to be improved from the prior generation. Lastly, the watch will come in a new blue, recycled, and fully recyclable cardboard and paper presentation box. This is another way that Oris is thinking about the sustainability. So if you buy this, store it in your closet while you're not wearing the watch, or put the box in a recycling bin if you don't feel that you will use it. All things considered though, the updated Aquis is a great move. Oris has implemented subtle design changes that improve the look, improve the feel, improve the fit, and improve the details of the watch. They have refined the design without altering the essence of the model, and to me that's a success. This watch is an example of the brand continuing to go in the right direction and offer a quality product at a fair price. The only thing that I would consider a missed opportunity is the lack of an on-the-fly micro adjustment system in the clasp, and hopefully we see that implemented before too long. Thanks to Oris for sending me this new release to feature and share my own opinions on. I'll link their site and their social media below, and thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you in the next one.